Hey there guys, Reckoning here, welcome back to Let's Read Katawa Shoujo. In the last part, we ran and we slept on the bleachers. Yeah. So now, we're gonna do, I don't know what. Yeah, let's get started. As soon as it becomes apparent that I'm not going to suddenly keel over, Emmy takes off her own sprints. I don't know how the hell she can manage to sprint after running a mile, but I guess she's in much better shape than me. Once again, as I walk around the track, I can't help watching Emmy sprint. It's weird, but she's like a different person when she's pushing herself. Last time I noticed her eyes, but this time it's her mouth that catches my attention. She's not wearing her normal grin. She's still smiling, but there's a tightness to it. It's almost grim, like she's fighting a losing battle but doesn't care. She seems to be running harder, like she did yesterday. Sweat has started to pour down her face, but she keeps going. Her mouth finally opens as she can no longer get enough air through her nose. As she passes me once more, legs pumping, arms swinging in time, and her lips slightly parted, she looks beautiful. After we've both taken some laps around the track to cool down, Emmy changes back to her usual self. The transformation I saw in her is gone. Not bad to say, Sal. There's almost admiration in her voice. What do you mean? I would have stopped if you hadn't yelled at me. Emmy colors a little, seemingly embarrassed about her outburst. Sorry about that, I just can't stand to see people give up. Especially about something like this. Saying I can't go on is silly when you're obviously going on while you're saying it. That's what this is all about. What, saying silly things? Emmy sticks her tongue out at me. Idiot. I mean showing that you're alive. Showing I'm alive, huh? Didn't know it had to be so painful. But it does feel pretty good, despite that. Besides, this is one of the hardest days. What do you mean? Whenever you start a workout, it's difficult the first day, really hard the second day, and the third day it's easier. You'll still get days that are really hard, but they'll pop up less and less. This will eventually get easy, huh? Yeah, of course. But then you have to increase the difficulty, or you never get ahead. You just get complacent, and you'll lose the sense of accomplishment. So I'll have to run more than just 4 laps, huh? Yep, but not for a while. You have to be careful, you know. A thought strikes Emmy and her face lights up. Got it. Got what? You can come with me to see the nurse. That way you won't fall over dead or anything. How charming. When? Right now, of course. You need a shower and everything, right? We don't have much time then. Grabbing my hand, she's off, pulling me along with her. My goodness, but you're in a hurry today, aren't you, Emmy? I have no idea how we got to the nurse's office so fast, but here we are. The nurse grins at Emmy and seems to completely ignore me. You got plenty of time to take a shower and get to class, you know. There's no need to run through the hallways like that. I can hear you coming a mile away. Somehow it doesn't seem like he's actually scolding Emmy at all. It's like this is a sort of routine between the two of them. Emmy does a passable imitation of remorse. I'm sorry, I won't ever do it again. The nurse and Emmy both laugh at some private joke. Suddenly, it seems that he notices me. Ah, hello, Sal. What brings you here? Well, Miss Sal's officially joined me in my morning runs. I start to explain, but Emmy cuts me off. I thought he might need to visit you so that he doesn't die or anything. The nurse raises his eyebrows in mock horror. Yes, that would certainly put me out of a job fast, wouldn't it? Well then, Sal, let's have a look at you. Lift up your shirt, would you? I'm suddenly very conscious of the fact that Emmy's in the room with me and blush in spite of myself. The nurse seems to sense my discomfort, but it only seems to amuse him. Bit shy, are we? He manages an apologetic bow to Emmy. Sorry, Emmy, I tried to get you a free show, but it doesn't seem to have worked. Emmy stiffens slightly and fires a look of annoyance at him. You're an asshole. Emmy bows to me apologetically. I'll wait outside, okay, Sal? I begin to stammer that it's not really a big deal, but she doesn't have to leave. But she's already out the door and the nurse is laughing as he watches her go. Still got it, ha! I don't follow. He laughs again like he's in on some joke that's over my head. I can still get her flustered. It's a competition of sorts we've had going for a while now. That sounds incredibly sinister to me, and it seems as if the nurse realizes that too. That sounded a lot worse than it actually is, come to think of it. I wasn't going to say anything. No, you're right. I should fill you in so you don't get the wrong idea. I'm actually relatively new here, you see. I got hired on the same year Emmy started going here. Before that, I worked with Emmy during her initial rehab following her accident. Hold on, what? We had to amputate her legs after a really nasty car wreck. Nearly killed her and succeeded... He shuts up abruptly. I blink at receiving this unexpected piece of news. Well, that's not my place to say. Anyway, we've known each other for quite a while. So we have a slightly more familiar relationship than is strictly professional. He seems embarrassed, like he's done something stupid. Guess he's really worried about that. I wave a hand to let him know it's not a big deal. Don't worry, sir. I promise I'm going to be discreet. I'd been wondering about what caused Emmy to lose her legs, and that was one of the scenarios I thought of. There were only so many ways that could have happened, but actually hearing about the facts is still a little shocking. Well, thanks. You're a good kid, Sal. I can see why Emmy became friends with you. She's quite indomitable, you know. What do you mean? You didn't see her learning to walk. She'd go for so much longer than the others in the hospital. She refused to quit. Normally it takes years to get to a point where you can even think about running again. Emmy did it all in about a year. He almost seems proud of her, like a father who watches his daughter win a competition or something. Hell, she'd probably have done it faster if not for the fact that we wouldn't let her. Wouldn't let her? Why not? Because she'd go for so long that her legs would start bleeding where they met her prosthetics. It's a real concern. It's why she comes by every day after she runs. To say nothing of the risk of infection if her legs get cut up and her prosthetics are dirty. But enough about that. If we don't get you on your way soon, Abby will think we're up to something. As he says this, he gives a wink and starts checking the heartbeat. The stethoscope is way too cold. He really should have heated it up or something before he used it. After a few moments, he leans back, satisfied. Well, you sound pretty good to me, Sal. You didn't have any chest pains while you were running, did you? No, not really. I had some trouble catching my breath, though, and my heart was racing by the end, too. The nurse frowns as I say this, but then shrugs. It's probably just because you're out of shape, but if you don't improve, then you should let me know, okay? Don't push yourself too much, and of course, if you have any chest pains, come to me immediately, right? I put my shirt back on, and the nurse leans out of the doorway calling Emmy. What took you so long? Now I'm going to be late. The nurse gives me a significant look. I was just seducing Sal, that's all. What? Come on, what have I told you about seducing my friends? I expected Emmy to be shocked by this, but instead she seemed merely annoyed, scolding the nurse as if he were a child stealing cookies. Meanwhile, I tried hard not to blush at the nurse's innuendo. I'll try not to do it again, though I fear young Sal may be lost to the female gender forever. Not freaking likely. I didn't mean to say that out loud, but both the nurse and Emmy regarded me for a moment before bursting into laughter again. Told you he was funny, didn't I? Huh. Guess Emmy does talk to the nurse about a lot of stuff. Well, Sal, you should probably get moving. You still need to shower before class starts, don't you? Crap! He's got a point. It looks like I've only got a half an hour. Thanks for your time. See you later, Emmy. I dash out of the room as the nurse begins to remove Emmy's prosthetics. As I head down the hallway, I can just barely hear his voice drifting after me. Emmy, you've got to be more careful. I make it back to my room and shower in record time. It occurs to me that I've already been up for 4 hours, and class hasn't even started yet. This is going to be a really, really long day. I hope I don't fall asleep in class. The morning sunlight streaming through my window makes me wake up instead of my alarm, and I realize that it must be Sunday. Emmy has kindly deigned to give me weekends off from our morning runs. I don't actually know if I woke up at all yesterday, or if I just slept through the entire day. My legs groan in protest as I've lifted myself out of bed. All this running has really taken out of me. Still, I can't deny that Emmy wasn't lying to me. It has gotten a little easier. I've been worried that the runs would start to wear on my nerves, but thus far I haven't minded them as much. Well, it's only been a week. I suppose there's plenty of time for me to start dreading the sound of my alarm in the morning. Not that I could ever skip out now. As Emmy said, it's harder to stop a routine when there's another person. And frankly, I don't think I'm equipped to deal with a disappointed Emmy. She'd probably give me those puppy dog eyes and I'd feel terrible about myself. Which reminds me, wasn't I supposed to go somewhere today? Hey, you coming to my track meet on Sunday, right? What am I talking about? Of course you are. Right? Those puppy dog eyes again. Of course I'm going. I owe you, right? Exactly, so don't forget, okay? Crap! Emmy's track meet! Better get a move on if I don't want to miss her running, since she's the only reason I'm even considering going. Otherwise, it would defeat the whole purpose of going. And so, I soon find myself quite surrounded by a crowd of people, all turning out to see our track meet compete with another school like this one. I'll admit it's almost comforting to know we're not the only school like this. After you see that there can be two schools with a bunch of defective kids, well, you stop feeling so defective. You also stop feeling unique, which in most cases would be a bad thing, but in this case it sure as hell isn't. That part of Yamaku's appeal, I guess. Learn that you're not unique. Hell, learn there's a lot of others who would kill to be saddled with your problem instead of whatever they're dealing with. Some of the kids here aren't here because they're missing a leg or have a heart condition. Some of them might be here because they're good as dead in 2, maybe 3 years if they're lucky. And that's only if they get the right sort of care. It's a bitter sort of comfort to be able to say, well, at least I got a chance to be alive through college. But there it is. I'm brought out of my rather morbid musings by the appearance of Ren near the entrance to the bleachers. You came. Of course. I said I wouldn't, didn't I? It doesn't necessarily imply that you had to follow through. Lots of people say things and don't mean them. Well, I don't. Ren shrugs. Seemingly bored with our conversation, she turns on her heel and heads back toward the stands. I owe Emmy money now. Why's that? I didn't think you showed up. Emmy did. So I owe her 500 yen. You two bet an awful lot, don't you? Another shrug from my armless companion. I don't think so. We enter the bleachers and Ren nods upward. Up there. I came out to see if you'd come. For the bet, I presume. Ren leads the way, and soon we've settled on an almost empty bench. There's an older woman sitting next to Ren, someone's mother, I assume. She's got rather long hair done up in a braid. On seeing Ren, she gives her an oddly familiar-seeming grin. Well, this is surprising. Should I come up with a voice for her? I thought you went to get a snack, not a boy. Huh? A snack? I wondered why I was down there. The woman laughs, again in a way that seems familiar. Where have I seen her before? Well, I suppose you've always been one to go out for one thing and bring back another. But I'm being rude, I haven't introduced myself. I'm Miko Aberozaki, Emmy's mother. Pleased to meet you. Well, that explains it. She's like a taller, older, and better endowed Emmy. Really? Really, so? God damn it. Apart from her hair being a darker shade than Emmy's, there's really no mistaking the resemblance. Sorry, I'm Sal. Sal Nakai. And really, you don't have to apologize for not introducing yourself, Mrs. Aberozaki. That's really Rin's job in this situation, isn't it? Another laugh from Emmy's mother. I take it you've not known Rin for that long, then. It's best not to expect her to remember something like that. She's got other things to think about, I presume. Rin nods, seemingly pleased by this assessment. She's right. I was thinking about sunsets. You see, it's really up to us to make introductions and the like. For lack of any better response, I nod. Mrs. Aberozaki leans back a little on her seat and raises an eyebrow. So, how long have you and Rin been dating? My response consists of silence as my brain suddenly lurches into gear. But just before I can begin to utter a hastily babbled explanation, Emmy's mother bursts into laughter again. Ha! You're a blusher, aren't you? I don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in this situation, so I settle for a mumbled response. Maybe. This must be a new romance then, mustn't it? Wait, that's not the question of the... Another laugh. I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry, forgive an old woman her amusements. Old woman? She sure doesn't look that old to me. Clearly, Emmy gets her youthful features from her mother. I suppose I can let it go. How kind of you. It's startling. It's starting. I direct my attention to the track where they're preparing for the first sprint. It looks like the 400-meter dash. My eyes scan the runners before finding Emmy. She's smiling with an almost cocky look on her face. The starter raises his pistol. Emmy explodes off the block, disappearing from the starting line in a blur. It's amazing. Even as the other sprinters converge in the lanes closest to the inside line, Emmy surges to the front of the pack. Now, as you can see, we can see Mickey in the background here. And then we don't recognize anybody else here. But we do recognize Mickey, and we recognize Emmy. You've now been informed. By the time she runs the final turn, some of the other runners have caught up with her. Their efforts come to naught, though, since a final burst of speed from Emmy leaves them at least a half-second behind. Mrs. Aberozaki whoops and shouts, applauding wildly and generally looking like any other parent cheering on their child. Now here we can see Emmy again, and here we can see Mickey again, as indicated by not having this hand. Emmy bounds off the track, looking pleased with herself. I cheer right along with the rest of them. The announcer, sounding suspiciously like Misha, gleefully gives the results. I think she's gotten faster since the last time. That was incredible. Mrs. Aberozaki grins proudly. Emmy's a heck of a runner. We fall silent as the next event is being prepared. I'm surprised to see Emmy striding out onto the track again. Wait, didn't she just run? Emmy's mother nods. Yes, but she runs multiple events of the team, especially the sprints. It's a lot of running, but Emmy can handle it. From the look of things, she's right. Emmy doesn't appear to be tired, as if she hadn't run the previous event at all. If not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you'd never know. Which event is this? It's the 200-meter dash. She'll do this one, the 100-meter, and the relay. I see. Once again the pistol sounds, and once again Emmy flies off the block. A thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. His friend's foot. She seems completely absorbed in the race. Emmy's mother cheers again, and I assume that the race is over. Sprints don't seem to me like they take very long to complete. Her foot. Her foot was bouncing on the bleachers. Oh. You seem pretty into this stuff. I'm surprised. Ren looks at me quizzically. Why wouldn't I be? No reason, just thought stuff like sports wouldn't interest you. I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting. But I'm watching Emmy, not the sport. I don't follow. Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. You don't get to see Emmy at her Emmyest very often. But here, you can. See? She directs my attention over the track again where the 100-meter dash is about to start. I watch Emmy closely. Now we can see Mickey again right here. Okay, I think I'm done with that. As she gets into the starter blocks, her whole body seems to relax, but it's a false relaxation. I can see that she's actually like a coiled spring. As the starter tells everyone to get set, her head snaps up and her eyes narrow slightly. Her mouth curls upward and could be a grin and could be a growl. When the pistol goes off, it's as if she's been unleashed from a cage, like she was always moving at this blinding speed, but we couldn't see it happening to the starter's pistol to dispel the illusion of motionlessness. It's all over in a few seconds, but in those few seconds I feel like I just witnessed something very personal for Emmy. As soon as she crossed the finish line, the fierce look was replaced by a normal grin. The conquering general returning to his farm. Amazing. She's really amazing. I've never seen anyone move that fast. Well, don't look at me. I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. No, I think Emmy's prowess all came from her father's side. At the mention of Emmy's father, Mrs. Aberozaki looks wistful, almost sad. He got her into running, you know. Yeah, she told me. I'm uncertain as to whether or not it would be rude of me to ask after Emmy's father, but after that look on her face a few days ago, I feel compelled to ask. Where is her father now, if I might ask? Emmy's mother hesitates, clearly not willing to answer the question, but at the same time not wishing to appear rude. He isn't around anymore. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up bad memories. Emmy just seemed a little sad when she mentioned him earlier. I think that's what I said. Earlier, okay. That's not surprising, considering... They were very close. I see. A beeping noise suddenly emanates from Mrs. Aburazaki's pocket. Reaching into it, she pulls out a cell phone and looks at it. Honestly, text messages? What is he, 16? Oh, nothing. Gotta go meet up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Emmy I'm very proud of her and I'll call her later tonight? Of course. I'll admit that I zone out for a while. I almost don't notice that the relay is about to begin. But when I look, I can't find Emmy. I thought that Emmy would be running the relay. She runs anchor. But she won't be running for a while yet. Ah. Did you see it? Huh? Emmy at her Emmyest. Maybe? Maybe this time. The race begins and I cheer Emmy's teammates along as they pass the baton. I'm not going to point it out. You can see them. Finally, I see Emmy sprinting onto the track to take the final handoff. Once again, I'm taken aback by how graceful she looks when she runs. It really is beautiful. The look of determination and fearlessness on her face only adds to the picture. Emmy at her Emmyest, I suppose. Then, as she crosses the finish line, I see her stumble slightly. It's only barely, but it's a definite stumble. Rin inhaled sharply and actually looked concerned for a second. Aw, Emmy. Did she hurt herself, do you think? You noticed it too? It must be bad. She frowns as if deciding on the next course of action. Eventually that proves to be too tiresome, and she shrugs again. Well, let's go down. Gotta crown the victor. See if you can find a laurel branch. That's not going to be easy. Rin shrugs. At least we tried. Well, we didn't really try all that hard. Or at all. But hey, whatever. Emmy is surrounded by her teammates, all of them congratulating her on a run. Rin seems to be waiting for Emmy to notice that she's arrived. Oh yeah, I guess she can't exactly wave Emmy over. Then again, I'm not sure that Rin would do such a thing even if she had arms. Doesn't seem her style to draw attention to herself, or to emote beyond shrugging. Either way, I'm not willing to wait, so I wave to Emmy, who looks up and grins happily at me, us. Hey, you showed up! Guess Rin owes me money, huh? We should have brought you a crown of laurels, but Sal didn't find one. Hey, neither did you. It wasn't my job to look. When did we assign jobs? And I said, see if you can find a laurel branch. Try to keep up. I shrugged. Guess Rin's rubbing off on me. Seems it's my fault after all, Emmy. Emmy laughs at Rin and me. It's okay. I'm sure you'll make it up to me somehow. Sure. Good. So how'd I look? I stopped myself from blurting out beautiful or amazing and settled for the substantially safer, very impressive. Emmy seems pleased with this assessment. I don't mention how much more impressive her performance is given her lack of legs. I figure she knows that already. Besides, it seems like it would take away from her effort somehow. Great to hear. I was worried that I looked a little slow in the relay, but I guess it did fine, huh? Actually, I noticed. Rin kicks me and keeps me from finishing my sentence. What was that all about? He noticed it. At the end. That's not good. Guess the nurse will look at it for me later. There's a carelessness in her voice, as if it isn't a big deal, but I suddenly notice a slight twitch on her face, like she's trying to hide the fact that she's in pain. It's then that I noticed her breathing a little shallow, too. I guess she really is hurt. She must notice my concern because she skips up to me and gives me a friendly pat on the shoulder. Hey, you look a little worried. I'm fine, really. Just sore from all the running, that's all. Hey, come on, a little pain isn't going to stop me. Oh no? Emmy grins, and for a moment she looks like she did during her sprint, fierce and unconquerable. Or to put it another way, really beautiful. Hasn't yet. Well then, I guess I shouldn't worry, huh? Damn right, I'm Emi Ibarazaki, fastest thing on no legs. I don't stop for anything. Impressive. Emi giggles, then seems to remember something. Oh, before I forget, Ren and I are going to do something next Sunday as a post-track meet celebration. You should come along. Normally we do it the day after, but since the track meet was on a Sunday, I've got homework and class and all that stuff to take care of. Plus our morning run, of course. Right, of course. Alright, your mom wanted to see she's proud of you. She'll call you later tonight. I thought I saw her in the stands. Glad she made it. Used to be my dad who showed up at my meets, but Mom's done a pretty good job of taking over. She shivers slightly, and I realize that she's still all sweaty. A breeze has started to blow too. I'm not cold at all, and I've got my jacket with me, so without a word I throw it around her shoulders. Emi jumps slightly, then grins at me. Hey, thanks! It's getting a little cold, I guess. Yeah, looked like it. Just as I begin to wonder whether or not giving Emi my jacket could have been taken the wrong way, a boy in a track uniform approaches. Hey Emi, you're gonna miss the medal ceremony. Oh yeah, thanks! She turns to Ren and myself. You don't have to stick around for this part. It takes forever. Besides, you should get cracking on your homework now if you don't want to be up late, Sal. Morning run tomorrow, don't forget. How could I? Good point. I mean, it's spending time with me, after all. With this, she waves quickly and dashes off to retrieve her medals, or whatever they pass off as a medal these days. Ren and I head away from the track, Ren remaining deep in whatever thought she has for most of the walk back to her dorms. As I see her off, she speaks up. You're probably not getting that coat back, I think. I'm sure I'll get it back eventually. Interesting. Take it as it comes, huh? Very Emmy-ish. With this odd statement, she turns and heads into the building. Honestly, is it that big a deal? Emmy was cold, and unless I'm mistaken, in pain. Giving her a solution to at least one of those problems seems like an obvious reaction. Though I guess there is a chance I could lose my jacket if Emmy never remembers to return it. I guess Ren has a point. Still, I can't bring myself to muster much worry over the whole thing. After all, it's been getting warmer lately. I don't need a jacket. Odd. I think I used to be a little more responsible with my stuff. Emmy-ish, huh? Maybe that's not really a bad thing. You haven't been forgetting to take your medication, have you? Or medicine. Medicine, have you? I'm catching a little murmur. You should take it easy for a few days. The nurse's words hurt me far more than the exhaustion of the morning run ever could. Take it easy for a few days? I knew I should have kept quiet. I keep my eyes on the floor, feeling like a complete idiot. Because I hadn't been remembering to take my medicine. I've been rushing out of my room to get to the track before Emmy. After the track meetup a few days ago, I felt inspired. So I've been running more warm-up laps in the morning before Emmy shows up. But then today, while she and I were running, I felt a little pain in my chest. It was only slight, and it was only for a second, so I mentioned it to the nurse. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I kept running and finished just fine, so it really couldn't have been that bad. Why do I feel like I'm making excuses to the nurse? Moreover, why do I feel a need to justify continuing to run despite the pain? Really, it comes down to my being unwilling to concern Emmy, who seemed concerned anyway. I'm not sure how she was able to tell there was anything wrong, but she claims I stumbled a little. She's the one who insisted I tell the nurse, so now I feel bad for worrying her at all. The nurse is shaking his head ruefully while Emmy paces outside the room. Sal, I know it's difficult for you to get into a new routine, but if you don't want to find yourself in a lot of trouble, you're going to have to try harder. You can't afford to forget your pills, and you can't push yourself too hard. But if I don't push myself, how will I improve? I don't know where that came from. The nurse seems to have an idea. Now, where have I heard that before? He laughs and pats me on the shoulder. Ha! She's rubbing off on you, I guess. His expression changes again, and he's back in serious mode. Look, I'm not saying you shouldn't push yourself. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be taking the medication, and it doesn't mean you shouldn't stop if your chest starts to bother you. I'd prefer not to have any fatalities while I'm on staff here. A bit of a lofty goal to be sure, but I'm always up for a challenge. I hate to admit it, but I think he's right. I gotta remember to take my medication. You're right, I'm sorry to worry you. Who's worried? You're a smart kid, right? I know you can be responsible, Sal. A situation like yours, you gotta learn to be responsible fast. I know. His expression suddenly becomes devious. I suppose you've started to enjoy your runs with Emmy then, eh? Yeah, they've actually been helping me. Really been helping me. I mean, until today I was feeling a lot more healthy. Plus, it's really impressive to see Emmy run. Did you just see at the track meet? She was incredible. Nurse nods, grinning all the while. That she was, Sal. I watched her first couple of races before I had some business to take care of, but she told me all about it. Kind of you to loan your jacket, by the way. Huh? Oh yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. I had honestly forgotten all about that. I still haven't gotten it back. Oh, fuck. 5 in the morning again. Dandy. The nurse gets a smile that makes me feel like he's just made a joke. Not to you, but Emmy certainly appreciated it. And I know she appreciates your running with her in the mornings. This one catches me off guard a little. Sure, she mentioned that it's easier to keep to a schedule with an extra person, but I didn't think that I was actually doing her a favor at all. I thought she was doing me the favor of helping me follow the doctor's orders. She tries harder when you're around. If there's someone else running with her, she's going to push herself more. And she tries even harder when you're around because, well, it's you. What the heck does that mean? Oh ho, you'd love to know, wouldn't you? He laughs in the style of evil megalomaniacs. No, seriously, it's because you're her friend. If Ren ran with her, I'm sure she'd do the same. Well, probably. That's not the point. The point is you're helping her, even if you don't know you are. And she's grateful for that, even if she never says it. What do you mean, even if she never says it? Fucking hell. Emmy doesn't talk a lot, but she and I have known each other long enough that I can read her most of the time. I'll admit it, I have no idea what he's talking about. Emmy always seems pretty talkative to me. I see. The nurse suddenly realizes that he's been rambling and stops talking, looking a little embarrassed. Anyway, you don't have to stop your morning exercise. Just walk the track instead of running for a few days. Let things calm down. And take your damn medicine. I laugh as I exit the office, bumping straight into Emmy. Whoops, sorry about that. You okay? What did the nurse say? Do you need to go to a hospital? Oh my gosh, it was my fault, wasn't it? I've been pushing you too hard, haven't I? I'm a horrible person. The words pour forth like a torrent. She's really agitated. I didn't expect her to be this concerned about me, to be honest. Gotta calm her down. But how the hell do I do that? I do the only thing I can think of. I give her a hug. Emmy tenses up slightly, so I pat her head in what I hope is a reassuring manner. Hey, settle down. I'm fine, okay? No worries. I can feel Emmy's body relax as I continue to assure her I'm fine. Her arms wrap around me as if she's trying to confirm that I'm not about to fall over dead. I catch a whiff of her hair. It smells like sweat, or how her adrenaline should smell. It's the scent of activity. And a hint of strawberries. From her shampoo, I suspect. I just need to remember to take my medicine, that's all. Don't worry about it. It's not your fault. You sure? Her voice is muffled, mostly because at the moment her face is pressed into my chest. Yeah, I'm sure. I just need to take it a little easy for the next few days. It suddenly occurs to me how close the two of us are. It also occurs to me how nice being this close feels. I can feel Emmy's heartbeat calming down, and I have to resist the urge to rest my chin on top of her head. Thank goodness. You really had me worried there, Sal. Emmy, you going to come in here anytime soon? Oh, I'm sorry. Was I interrupting? The two of us spring apart as if the other just caught on fire. Emmy brushes her hair back nervously and laughs. Of course not. I'll, see you later, okay? Oh, and Sal? Take your damn medicine. This last phrase is punctuated by a punch to the shoulder. Yeah, I'll remember. See you later. The nurse smiles again like he's in on some joke I don't know and waves to me as I head for my room, feeling the burning in my cheeks. I need a shower. A cold one, if the thoughts running through my head are now are any indication. She was really soft. My pills are waiting for me when I make it to my room. I swallowed them without a second thought. I don't know why I didn't think of waiting until after the runs to take them. For some reason, I figured it was just when I woke up or not at all. But no, they only need to be taken every 24 hours. The exact time of day doesn't factor into it. My thoughts drift back to the hug in the hallway. It's weird, you'd expect someone to smell foul after a run, but for some reason Emmy smelled right. That tinge of sweat just seemed to fit her. I really need that shower. And with that, I will end this episode off. So next time on Let's Read Katawa Shoujo, we will continue Emmy's arc, and we'll probably get to the only decision of Act 2, if my flowchart is any indication. So we should get there pretty soon. But with that being said, I'm reckoning, you the viewer, give me a like if you like this video, give me a comment telling me whatever the hell you want to tell me. You know, I'm open to what you guys want to say. And until next time, keep on running, keep on healthy, and enjoy your Friday, guys. Unless you're not watching this on a Friday, and I sound completely stupid now. See ya!